Okay guys, we're going to do a little update here on the SRT4. So for starters, I'm at one of my local parks, so better scenery, a little bit more space. So anyhow, you guys haven't seen this car in a while, hasn't been on the channel in a while, haven't drove it in a while, and if you followed along at all, you know we've been in an unfortunate fender bender you might be able to see hints of back there. So this thing's here. That means I drove it here. It's on the road. Sort of. We're still working on it. But I patched it up. So we're going to jump into, we're going to refresh a little of what happened. I'm going to show you how I patched it up here. And there's still a few things. There's some more serious concerning things. And this is a downside of doing this at the park. There's a car coming. But we're gonna look into the more concerning parts of why it hasn't been out for so long. So let's jump into that. Alrighty, so while we're still at the park here and no one's really bothered me too much besides just driving through my shots, let's take a real quick look and I'll show you how I boo-boo taped this up here just so I could get it moving. So let me just spin around here. And we got zip tie stitches. So, okay, let me give you a whole shot there. Okay, so not my ideal fix. I've never done the zip tie stitch thing. I'm not like a fan of it at all. You can call me a tuner now, I guess. But so this bumper got shredded really bad. If you guys haven't watched the other video, I covered a lot of this. The last video I did on this car. So I just wanted to get this car out on the road. I've been trying to work on it a little bit on the background, but I've been doing the V8 swap on the truck and that's pretty much consumed all of my time. And I just have a little one-car garage, so I can really only work on one thing at a time. So before I actually brought the truck in there and we get the V6 out to start putting the V8 in and the garage is like totally off limits again, I brought this in real quick and I just wanted to see if I can get it rolling, because it's not good for anything to sit around. I mean, it's been almost a year now. The gas was starting to go bad. So this is the quickest way I could get the bumper so it wouldn't just be flapping in the wind going down the road. And there's some suspension things that we're gonna have to go back to the garage for to show you. Is one of the more safety reasons I was concerned about driving it, and I didn't try to just tape this up sooner. So I think that's about all I can do here. Let's go jump back to the garage. Okay guys, so we're back in the garage. It's actually the next day. Got a slight wardrobe change. That's because I went out and I did some runs with this car so I could try to show you like the way it seemed kind of unstable. I don't know how much is going to show up, but just, I don't know, I don't feel stable at speed with this car. Now yes, it's a front wheel drive car, it's going to have torque steer. But I've had a while to get away from it, and so driving again has kind of gave me like a fresh feel, some fresh eyes, all that. So it just doesn't seem quite right. Like it. Let me play this video. You'll see I've kind of got muscle memory at this point because I've gotten on it a few times. I've been taking it to work and stuff. Ran some fresh gas through it, but there's a lot of just trying to keep the car straight, and it just doesn't feel great. So let's jump to that. Okay, so there's some instabilities going on. I think I know what's going on, and some of you guys might, but there's some serious things we got to check that might be part of it. So with the rear end here, we got to jump under here because there's some stuff I know I seen, and that's actually what kept me from driving the car, because I was worried some stuff was going to fall off, honestly. So we got to climb under here, and here's a quick fresh look at this damage since it's right here. You know, really nice little love tap, and of course those beautiful zip tie stitches. Honestly, I need like one more right here, but you know, it doesn't matter. This is, for one, it's temporary, but two, it's just cosmetic. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I don't like it, but it doesn't matter. The car can drive like this. I made sure the tail light, there was one tab that was broken. I glued that back on, got it put back in there the way it's supposed to. So water's not gonna leak in and like rust the car out. Now, you know, this stuff, we did have rust here. It's been covered up. It knocked out our body filler and stuff. So this stuff could start to rust. I've been kind of putting some oil on it just to buy some time for now. But there's nothing serious going on there. We can drive it like this for now. So let me crawl under here and we'll see what's going on with the rear suspension. All right, so here's dead center in the rear of the car. We have aftermarket control arms back here. These are actually like really lightweight aluminum ones. And so when we were trying to look at it, you know, right after the accident and trying to see if anything was going on, I could shake the car. And let me move this tire. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but that whole bolt's kind of moving. And the other side does the same. Now, obviously that's kind of sketchy. I was like, oh, that either just knocked that loose or that was coming loose. Maybe that caused it. Because, you know, the geometry of the tire was changing as I like took the turn and all that stuff. So that was the main reason it's been sitting, is because I thought I had a major repair on my hands. But I snuck it in here, and so what I found out is this was actually a little bit loose, kind of just like this, and if I put that nice and snug again, it's pretty solid. So there's nothing, it's not moving at all. The little bit you hear is just like the joint itself kind of moving. It could probably use some fresh grease packed into it. So I had to kind of look at this because this is not factory. There's actually like a bolt that goes through there, and I had to lob that off because it was seized in there. There was nothing I could do about it. You can't drill out like 5 inches of bolt. So I welded a new stud on here. There's like a sleeve. You can see there's a big fat weld going all the way around. I think this was just moving inside that sleeve, but it's not pulling out when I tighten it. I've messed with it thoroughly. I think it's fine. Or it's fine for now. So we might dig into this, maybe figure something out, but for now I think we're okay back here. Okay, so I just got done crawling around underneath the front of the car now. So for one day I'm gonna have a car lift, and it's gonna be awesome. So I'm still doing this with jack stands and cardboard, so let that just sink in. Some of the stuff that I do in this little garage, but if I can do this stuff, any of you guys can do this stuff. So anyhow, so I did the old tire shake where you move it back and forth and up and down and all that, and I don't see anything crazy. So I don't see anything out of the ordinary, and that makes sense because it's from before I started this channel, but we pretty much built this car from the ground up, so everything up there is pretty new. The only issues I had was some stuff that I had to, like, you know, create, and I'm going through like the R&D phase of does this work. So everything looks pretty good there. Okay, so now we're down to just one thing. The rear suspension is good now. Front suspension is fine. Before we go any further, I do want to throw out there is, yes, there could be driver error before someone shouts that out in the comments at me. I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect, but the way this car slipped out from me, it was not the way I expected it. So I've driven this car fast. You guys have seen the channel. We've drag raced and everything else. So if you haven't already guessed it, we're down to these right here. So I don't know if it was mentioned on the channel, probably not, because we're usually on drag radials and stuff. I got these tires for pretty cheap. These are BFG Advantage. I seen the BFG logo. I got them actually from a wrecking yard off of some other car, and I got them for a real good deal. And my other tires I had a bunch of tire plugs in them. They were like sport tires, but like one tire had like 5 tire plugs in it, so I was like, anything's an upgrade. So I threw these on, and they're not that great. So checked everything out, and I looked these up online after the fact and realized these are just like their touring tires. These are not like high-end, you know, they're not meant for this. You know, they're meant for like a minivan. I don't even know why they make them in this low profile size. So the only advantage they have is they do ride nice. I'll give them that. This car rides the nicest it ever has, because we're on these coilovers and it's stiff. I'd like to look into different coilovers, but they do ride nice, and they have pretty good acceleration grip. I don't spin them that much, and they're kind of quiet. They don't squeal really loud, and that's about where it ends. The braking, they will skid. Turning, it's mush. So let me show you here. So just with my hand, I can move these treads, the little like fins on here. You know, it's not, you know, it is mushy. So it's very soft. It rolls easily. So not something you want for cornering or pretty much anything sports car related. I don't know what really gave me the confidence to go through some turns with this in the first place, so sure, blame myself again. But these are not a good match for this car. So bottom line is, we got to get new tires. the good thing about that is I do have new tires. I got them a little while back. I was looking at Tire Rack and I happened to catch like a clearance deal they had. So I have some, it's like an older model. They were clearing out to make room for a new model. They've been stored in a spare room in my house so they could be safe. So I don't even remember the name. I'll have to post it up on the screen. But they are like one step below like track only tires. They are pretty good. They're pretty high on the scale. Going to be a huge upgrade from these. Even an upgrade from what I had before for sure. And they should kick ass. Honestly, I'm pretty excited about them. So the downsides though is that they are a like summer only tire. So I'm gonna keep these. I got a spare set of wheels for this car, and I'm basically gonna have a setup like this. I'm gonna put these tires on my other wheels because they kind of need painted and stuff. So until hopefully we don't wreck or need another rim, but until we need one of those, I'll put these tires on those rims, and this way it can just sit outside if I need to move it in the move it around in the driveway when it's snowing and stuff like that. These will actually have a chance of getting around a little. And like extreme summer tires, for one, they're not supposed to be outside, and if they are outside and like below freezing, you can't roll the car at all. Like it needs to be above freezing for sure. So there's a little bit of a trade-off with that, but we're gonna have like ultimate performance above like 40 degrees. It should be pretty much unparalleled, and I'm really excited. So this thing should be able to hook a turn and do everything amazingly. As you guys know, I did an autocross video before. I'd love to take this out there, and it's unfortunate this happened when it did, but we will get out there. So that'll be awesome, and I'm excited to see what they do. And that's obviously not for drag racing. This is for other things, but for everything else it should be amazing. So that's the plan. Okay guys, so I know some of you may have followed this channel because of this car. This is what I started making videos with. So I wanted to give you a little update. No, I haven't sold it. I'm not parting it out or anything. There's plans in the works. She's out moving again. That's step one. Still have some work to do, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. So that's cool. Because it was a little tragic seeing that happen to something you work so hard on. But so she will be coming back. I appreciate all you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing, liking, do all those things. It helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.